Our next guest is Gerry Fulcher. He's the editor of often controversial Community Views. It's a small yellow paper. You may have seen it. It's given away free in stores and restaurants around the Wilmington area. And I want to welcome Gerry Fulcher, the editor of Community Views.
Hi,
Gerry,
Bob.
how are you?
Good, fine, Bob.
Gerry, how long have you been the editor of Community Views?
About a year and a half now. I used to write for it when it was Commuter Digest and Commuter News on the buses.
Mm-hmm. Now, for those who have never seen or read the paper, why don't you tell us about its content?
Well, I guess our first step into fame was getting thrown off the buses when I referred to the DART system as Delaware Authority for Rotten Transportation. And consequently, I kind of decided that this community has to start thinking about some things and get a little mad, so I discovered a way to get them mad. Even if they're mad at me, they're at least thinking about what's being said and taking a stand on issues. We're kind of lethargic in this community in many areas.
Mm-hmm. Where did the idea of this publication, projecting your own views, originate from?
Right here. I decided I had some things I wanted to say, and if I could get to 30,000 people with what I had to say, a lot of it evolves around the gambling issue. I think this community had to be educated in many aspects, and I decided to do it.
Mm-hmm. Now, you've often used the publication as a format for your views on gambling. Do you really feel that all forms of gambling are that harmful to the public?
Not in and of itself, but the way they're being perpetrated today. Yeah, to have a state bookmaker that you euphemistically call a lottery director, whose sole job it is to rob money from the poor by inundating the poor neighborhoods with his lottery machines and lying to them through deceptive advertising. I think that's an abuse of gambling that we should be aware of. I think if we had had a High Life run town in Wilmington, we would have had all kinds of problems, and I take some pride in the fact that I helped keep High Life out, and now I'm trying to keep dog racing out. We got enough. Stop.
Now, many people may agree with you, and many may disagree with you. For instance, in this issue of Community Views, there was a line, you were talking about women being promoted in various fields, and the final line here, and I think some people took exception to it, most of the women I know can't manage to shave their legs and cook a hot meal in the same week. What women were you speaking of?
Well, obviously, that was a takeoff on something that Irma Bombeck had done, saying we're tired of promoting these super women. Women don't have to be promoted as super beings. Obviously, I'm not a chauvinist. My wife would punch my lights out if I ever came up with that. I have a 5-year-old son, a 15-month-old baby girl, and 5 6-month-old twins, so I'm not about to consider myself a chauvinist. But I was saying, in effect, that stop promoting women as being these super people. What they do, whether it be working or be mothers, is important enough, and let's stop trying to promote them to be these superhuman beings that some of the feature articles have had them do lately.
Mm-hmm. Now, speaking of feature articles, you have a reputation for lambasting the news journal. Why is that?
I think they're a diarrhea of words expressing a constipation of thought most of the time, frankly, and I think that somebody's got to point it out. I think their reporters are bad for the most part. The Gannett people in general take over one newspaper towns, then they can give you substandard reporters. They all graduate from journalism school thinking they're Woodward and Bernstein's, trying to promote scandals that don't exist. They give slanted stories. I think they get too involved in one-sided politics, and I just think that there's another side to these issues, and I view my paper as the other side.
Mm-hmm. Well, of course, yours then is slanted too.
Oh, but I admit it. That's the difference. See, this is my views. I pay for it. I get the paper out. I can say what I want. Mm-hmm. They promote themselves as being objective news people, and they're not.
Mm-hmm. Now, how often is Community Views published?
We come out every Monday and every Thursday.
Mm-hmm. And what do you see as the future for your paper?
I don't know. It's gotten a lot of popularity. I got 22 calls from women today on that single article, for example, so I know people are reading it. It's a question of if advertisers keep it going the way it is, that we will expand, probably go to another page, and keep hitting the hard issues that I think the local paper neglects. I don't think we should let officials get away with things. Get mad at them. Get mad at Senator Murphy. He's a crook. Throw him in jail. All I do is say out in public with other people whisper at cocktail parties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd mentioned Senator Murphy on the issue. What was your thrust of this article here about?
Well,
Murphy?
The fact that I've seen him take the floor in his pietistical, pristine purity on the Senate floor and condemn other people who have had problems or who are having tough times, and at the very time he's doing that, apparently, according to his conviction, he's taken $5,000 to promote bills. I think that we put a certain trust in public servants, but I want to get people mad enough to make sure that we don't keep putting the Murphys in office. Elections are coming up. Consider the issues, vote for people, and judge their honesty and vote accordingly.
Well, do you feel you're right all the time?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
At least I'm right in having the right to say I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the Howard Cosell School of Journalism, you know. Say what you want and let the people attack you, but at least they're thinking. People think, feel, and then act. I get them thinking. Their feelings and acting will come from their part.
Do you invite people to express their opposing points of view to the views you're adhering
Yeah,
to?
most of them take place in form of phone calls in the middle of the night threatening to blow up my house, but I invite them to say anything they want. I'll print what they say. I'll disagree with it perhaps, but they can put what they want in the paper.
Mm-hmm. What new positive developments do you see locally in our state?
Well, that's the other point. The paper has a kind of reputation for being a negative entity, whereas I did a little calculation even before coming on the show. I have done twice as many positive articles. I have promoted people that don't ordinarily get promoted, people in human service agencies, some of the local clergy who I think are living saints in this community who are feeding poor people and so on. New businesses we try to promote. I try to promote your show. I think this is a great idea to have a show for Delaware with a little pride and a little respectability. I think that abortion over on 5th Street, Channel 12, is a waste of time, frankly. And I think that you people are doing a better job, and we should tell everybody that you are.
Well, I appreciate your views on that subject, Gerry. That was Gerry Fulcher, the editor of Community Views. And Gerry, thanks for coming on our show.
Thank you.
You will come back again sometime?
Anytime.
Okay. And now we're going to go to some short messages, but stick around. I'm looking forward to spending the evening with you.